This is my grandmother, or rather my adopted grandmother. Say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Muriel Barn.
Okay. So, what do we do if we want to make a pastry? The pastry is normally prepared to go with some kind of meat. In this case, what do we have here? Cooking here.
We have ribs and a sirloin steak.
Oh my, that looks delicious. And we have some onions on top of there to soak into the meat and give it flavor.
Yeah.
And beneath that, we just have it cooking in its own juices. Right. And so the pastry will traditionally go on top of this, although it can be cooked on its own.
Yeah.
Normally, that lets it leach off flavor from it and also cooks it at the same time as the meat. Make everything ready at the same time in the same pan. Very convenient. That's the first thing you do.
The first thing you do, put in 2 cups of flour
into a large mixing bowl.
Into a large mixing bowl. And then you put in a sprinkle of salt.
Just a little sprinkle of salt.
Right. 1/4 teaspoon.
1/4 teaspoon. That's what she normally goes with.
A 1/4 cup of sugar.
Who taught you this recipe? How far back does it go?
When we were younger. That's 90 years ago.
So it's a fairly old dish. Yeah. We can be sure of that.
Yeah, and
I think we can call that traditional.
Like your mother, our mother taught us to do it. You know?
And her mother taught her to do it, and her mother taught her to do it. So I think that's what they mean when they say traditional.
Yeah. Then you put in a quart of a cup of butter.
Which is about that much. She has it down to a science by now. Yeah. You can measure if you want to.
Yeah, that's a 1/4 cup. Mix it.
With a potato masher? Is that what you normally use? I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I actually like it.
Yeah, this is the way I always do it at the potato masher.
I suppose it works well with all that butter in there.
Yeah.
This is technically a type of shortbread, I guess you could call it, with all the butter.
Yeah.
Use it to crush up all the sugar and butter and salts into a nice, so it's nice and evenly distributed throughout the mix. And then baking powder.
Yep.
Not baking soda, baking powder.
No baking powder. Four level spoonfuls.
And then you mix it up again. Get all the baking powder in there. So then you wash your hands in hot water.
Yep, hot water.
Icy cold water. Just a teensy bit, enough to wet it.
Half a cup of water.
Half a cup of water. Nice and doughy.
You have to knead it, so it gets nice and fluffy.
A nice narrow pan, and then you can put that in your oven on what do you normally do it on?
350.
You poke holes in it so the air can rise above it.
Yeah.
You can also just put this on top of the meat, as was stated earlier.
Yeah.
then it'll just absorb some flavors from the meat, but this time we've decided that we are going to do it the regular way, in the bread pan.
Yeah.
Go ahead and experiment, because at this point it's kind of hard to screw this up. It's a wonderful doughy ball of pastry.
You have to grease the pan. Grease the pan. Grease it.
So you use butter as your grease? And there we have it. A traditional Newfoundland pastry.
The pastry is delightfully chewy and can be eaten plain or with gravy. Very much a traditional Newfoundland